Hello everyone, welcome back to our level we've been working on for our maze. This hopefully is going to be the last one we're going to do in Maya. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take one of these junction boxes here, and I'm going to be working on creating the door that's going to allow the player to exit the maze. So I don't really need the junction box, but it's just going to be kind of like a piece to work with. Okay. I'm going to turn textures off for now because I don't need them on. It's incredibly simple. For those of you who have some modeling skills, you should be able to formulate a more complicated door if you want. Something that's a little more puzzle piecey that fits together. But let's go ahead and create something simple. So we're going to go to create, we're going to go to polygon primitives, and we're going to create ourselves a cube. Okay? And we'll take this cube from the center over here and just drag it over to where we're working at, right? I'm just going to make two simple doors out of cubes. I'll scale this one down. Okay, so that's pretty big. Doesn't need to necessarily be that thick. Doesn't matter if it's too tall, because the player on the inside can't tell. But thick, not really necessarily want to be that thick. Okay, that's good. Maybe something more like that. Okay, and this is about the middle. I'm just going to guesstimate for right now. Alright, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this door. I'm just going to put it on this side now. So now I got two doors. Alright, okay, go ahead and name them. I'm going to freeze the transforms on both of them as well. So go ahead and select both of them, go to freeze transforms. Go ahead and call them mesh door. Well, I guess we'll do R from my perspective. I guess it depends on if you're talking about from the player's perspective, that would probably be the left door, but whatever. The player will never see that. Okay, so now we're going to create ourselves a couple joints to put in that are going to control our doors. And the reason why we're using joints to control them is because when you have an animated object, these objects, these base meshes, they don't carry animation information into Unity. It's just inside of Maya. So if we were to animate these doors inside of Maya without any joints, they'd be still doors when we brought them into Unity. So let's go ahead and create ourselves a couple joints. We're going to change our menu drop down from modeling. We're going to change that over to rigging. And we're going to go to skeleton, and we're going to go to create joint. Okay. And now we're going to switch to our 4 panel because I need to get this into an orthographic view for me to be able to create a joint, or at least where I want it. Okay. So actually I'm going to exit out of this joint tool for just a second so I can have my orthographic window focus in on the one I'm after, which is this one here. Okay, so I'll just bring that into full view, and I'll create myself my first joint. Okay, and then hit enter to complete it, and I'll create myself another joint. Enter complete. Good. Okay, so I'm going to take this first joint, or the second joint here. I'm just going to move it off right where this one is. Okay, I'm going to take this one, do the same thing. Okay. Now I want to make sure these joints are somewhat close to these doors. So I'm going to hop out of this view in just a second. I want to make sure to name them first though before I do that. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see here. This one is the right. This one's the left. So let's go ahead and just copy this name here, and I'll just leave it joint and add that onto it. And then I'll select this one, copy its name, then I'll go down here. Oops. There we go. Alright, so now they both have their names. Now I just need to make sure that these joints are actually right on top of these doors. And I'm betting they're not. But let's go ahead and take a look real quick. Yeah, they're pretty far out. Okay. There we go. They're right on top now. Alright, so something else you might want to decide, like maybe I want these to all be inside here. So let's see if we can just take all these guys and actually keep them inside here. So I just bring this whole thing over there as like a package. So let's just go ahead and we'll shift select this last one here and we'll hit P for parent. So then now everything is underneath this guy here. They're all parented to it, right? Good. Okay, so now all we have to do is we're going to now skin each door to these joints. So I'm going to select this door, shift select this joint. I'm going to go to skin and bind skin. Again, select the door, shift select the joint, go to skin, bind skin. Okay, good, right? Now we just have to animate them. Okay, so normally I would create an entire control rig, but the control rig doesn't transfer over to Unity, so building a whole control rig just to do a simple animation, it's a little bit of a waste of time. It's a little bit overkill. In normal circumstances I would, though, for controlling character more complex scene assets. But let's go ahead and just dive right in. We need to take this joint here. We're on frame 1. I'm going to hit S. I'm going to select the other joint and do the same thing. We'll hit S. Now, if you have this auto key turned on, it'll make it to where your keyframes will automatically populate every time you make a change inside of Maya. So I have mine turned on. If you don't, you'll just have to keep hitting S every time you want to create a new keyframe or overwrite one. Okay, so now let's go over to frame 25. That should be about 1 second in real time. So 24 frames per second, 25 just a little bit over. So that means that for our door to open or close, it'll take about a second. Okay, so I moved it to where the timeline's on 25, and I'm just going to move it to where this is completely open on one side. Okay, and you can see now there's a keyframe right here. Now I just have to do the same thing on this side. Now it's still on frame 25, so all I have to do is just move it to the position I want it in. Let's go ahead and tilt it off to one side. Okay, about like that. Okay, let's test that out. Okay, so now what we can do is when we bring this over to Unity, we can just make this as a door. This will be closed, so the state will be closed, then we'll have one animation where it opens, and then we can use code to call it whether the door is closed or open. We'll just put some colliders in there to make sure the player can't get through them. Okay, so we are done with the doors. It's all packaged up inside here, which is all we have to do is export to Unity. So that's done. Okay, and all the other components of our maze are currently done. So all that's left for us to create is a key. Now your key can be as complex as you want it, but I'm going to show you how to make a key pretty easily. Okay, now remember these have to stay in quads. We don't want to have triangles or n-gons. N-gons being anything more than 4 sides, so like a 5-sided polygon or better, we're staying away from those. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to an orthographic view. Okay, let's say we're going to go to the side view right here. Okay, open up our modeling toolkit. Actually, I think our modeling toolkit is going to require us to. We'll just try it out anyways. We'll see what happens. I want to see if I can use my quad draw tool just to create an object from scratch, but I don't know if it's going to let me do that. Let's just test it. Okay, well, that works. Oh, it doesn't like that because we don't have a live surface. Okay, so never mind. Let's just clear dots. It's okay. We'll go ahead and go to object mode, select that guy, and play it. We have a different tool that will work just the same as our quad draw, just seeing if that one might work. So we're going to go back to modeling, and there's a tool called create polygon. This one here. Okay, now this one is all we have to do. Is the same thing as the quad draw, but Okay, saw select got turned on. Okay, so I'll just take this guy like so, bring it down. Let's go ahead and add some edge loops. Okay, and we'll create, say, one like that. Okay, what I'm going to try to do here is grab these two edges. Now this key is obviously going to be incredibly simple. So I'm going to extrude them. Like so, there's the teeth for our key. Now I just need to make the handle here, right? So we'll extrude those down. I'll add a couple edge loops in here. That'll let me add some roundness to this guy. So I'm just going to go to vertex mode. I'll just grab these two, scale them apart. Had to switch the axis there. It was trying to give me the component, which wasn't what I wanted. Nice twist based on the components I have selected. Okay. Okay. And maybe we take these ones here, down just a little bit. Okay. And then all I have to do is append these two. So I'm going to go back to my object mode here. I'll go to Mesh Tools, and I'll go to Append a Polygon. That'll let me fill in this gap here. Okay. Take that last face, and I'll just translate it down a little bit. Okay. I think I always down here since we're going to bring it down like so and just make it a little bit bigger. There we go. That'll work for my key, I think. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my perspective view. Now, yes, it is obviously way too big, but I can fix that. It's also very flat, so I can also fix that as well. So let's go ahead and scale this. And the translate tool is way over here in the center. So I'm going to center the pivot to bring this back over here. So I'll go to center pivot. There we go. So let's scale this down. And something else I want to do is I want this to be a little bit thicker than paper. So I'm going to extrude it all out. Okay. Scale this down a little bit more. Okay. There's our floating key. Go ahead and call this one mesh key. Alright, and probably want to add some texture to all these guys here. Also, you know what? I think that now I'm looking at this, I want to tweak my key just a little bit. There we go. I was looking at this, I'm like, I think that we need to have this scaled together. that just looks more visually interesting, I think. Maybe take these guys on the end here and I'll just rotate them so they're kind of like, yeah, that works. Guess I should probably do the same thing to these teeth though now I'm thinking about it. Sorry, I'm nitpicking here. I'm just playing around a little bit. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now let's go ahead and texture these guys really quick. So I'm going to go to my, let's see if I can just go ahead and drop my other texture. So I'll go to assign existing material, and I'll just go ahead and call this one, I think it's hallways is the one that we're using, right? I need to go and turn on textures, make sure that worked. Yeah, I think that was it. Okay, so let's go and we're going to go to our side by side, and we'll go to panel, panel, UV editor. I just want to make sure that we got some texture on our key here. We don't have to be, and that's the wrong one. I don't want that here. Okay, so it's not hallway. I guess it is probably junction. There we go. And that's the one we've been using. I just need to create some UVs now. So I'm going to go to UV. We'll go to auto map. Okay. Go to shell. Just take all the shells, and I'll move them off the side over here. Let's see here. Let's go with this. Just kind of apply, kind of like that. Okay, and we'll take that one. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Yep. Okay, so these shells are connected. Oh, it's because we've got mirroring on. Okay, so I don't know how that got turned on. But, let's see here. Let's go reset settings. Oh, that's staying in. Okay, these are just the end pieces that are between here, so I don't really mind what those look like. Just take all of them and just stick them in these kind of bigger parts. Those actually kind of cool. Let's take these ones here, put them in there as well. There we go. Okay, so it's like, okay, I see what happened. So when I turned on my modeling toolkit, the symmetry over here got turned on somehow. I'm not sure how that happened, but just in case that happens to you, because I was looking over here in the move tool, and that's what was taking me so long. Normally symmetry is one of the move settings. It's how it's been in my 2015. So if you're new to 2017, that was throwing me off a little bit. They move symmetry over to your modeling toolkit, so that is where it's turned on and off from. Okay. Yep, I can learn while I teach, sure. Okay. Go back to our object mode here. Okay, so this thing here is textured. That's good to go. Let's go ahead and freeze transforms on that for now. Next step, we're going to texture these guys as well really quick. So we're going to select both of them. We'll just go ahead and go to UVs, auto map. Okay, so each one should be mapped now. Yep, they are. Let's go ahead and attach them to that same deal. Go to assign. And what I'm doing here, just in case you guys didn't catch that, I'm just holding the right mouse button on top of the object. Going down to assign existing material, and I'm just going to the junction, which is what we had everything assigned to pretty much after the first hallway. So assign to existing, and we're going to the junction. Okay, this one here. Sorry, junction. There we go. And we're just going to have shell. See, and mostly the only thing that really matters is what the player's going to see. So let's go on the inside here. See what looks good. I'll move that one to okay. Let's say right here. See what happens if we squash the UVs and I don't think I like that. Maybe flip it around, see what that looks like. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Actually, it's okay. Okay, so I just have to do the same thing with the other one. So let's take this one, go for the other object. So we're going to go to object mode, select this one. Basically, I just need to select that first one. The backside doesn't really matter because, like I said, the player's never going to see that. Just going to move it back up here. Just going to scale this one together until that one piece is about the same size. There we go. This one over here needs a little bit of a tweak as well. Okay. Oh, no, I'm not really becoming a big fan of it actually. Sorry guys, I'm being a little bit of a nitpicky guy here right now, so let's go ahead and take this one here. We're just going to go with the simple that we've been using throughout everything. Just take this one here. And just do the same thing with this one, just keep it simple. There we go. Okay, so there's our door that our player will be able to escape out once they have the key. Make sure it's the only door in the game, so it's fairly obvious that's the door is trying to get through. Okay, so we have all of our pieces. We're going to go ahead and save. We're going to save scene as. Call part 3. Continue. Okay, so in the next lesson, we will be done with Maya. All we got to do in the next lesson is export into Unity. So we'll start out with Maya open, and then we'll export our packages up, and then we'll import them into Unity. And we'll start putting our level together. All right, so thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next lesson.